Hi readers, I'm Annie. Grab your tea, get comfy, and let's get cozy together because today we are setting up my 2025 author bullet journal. We've got everything from creative spreads to goal setting, and it is all about getting ready for a magical new year filled with inspiration, productivity, and of course, the best cozy moments. You know full well I was not gonna let this black velvet cover walk away without coming home with me. I literally am dying for like the perfect witchy magical vibes on the front. It was just absolutely perfect for me to put my entire year into. We are starting off with my grid spacing and key guide. This is literally essential for me. It's where I'm going to be able to track all my measurements to keep my spreads all nice and neat and organized. And just in case I have a little brain blip, I usually put my key in here just so I can make sure that none of my tasks go missing or walkabouts. Let's get on to the cover art. So I literally just had to brain dump into here. I kind of had a few little ideas of what I wanted here, but in all honesty, other than the hand and the book at the bottom, I just really let myself just roll with the vibes. And you know that we ended up with something super cute, super floral, just to, add a little bit of contrast to the dark cover because that's what we're all about. And it is just like giving me all these like magical celestial vibes. And I just really feel like this is the absolute perfect cover I could have picked for this year. Now, I swear that painting these edges always takes me so much longer than literally anything else in the spread, but having got them done now, like it is just actually so perfect. And this is a theme that you will see that does continue throughout the rest of the spreads that we've got here. In all honesty, I was kind of getting bored of painting, so I did end up using a pen for a lot of it, but we gotta take some cheats where we can. So because this is my author bullet journal, I'm doing it a little bit differently this year to how I did last year. If you haven't seen that video, do go check it out because there is a whole load of spreads in there that are going to be so much a perfect inspiration for all of you guys who are trying to sort out your journals for this coming year, as well as this video has some amazing spreads. But what I'm doing this year is this is just for sort of my general daily life, my sort of author stuff, and I've actually moved my reading into a different journal. So if you're interested in my reading journal, do come back, check that out, subscribe, and ring the notification bell down below. You guys know all that good stuff, but you're gonna have to keep an eye out for that because there's some other things in there that you are gonna want to know for your bullet journals this year. I had to roll with the metallic paints for this spread because there was just something about them that was just really calling to me, and I really love this kind of like metallic-y sheen that ends up tracking through all of my pages. It's going to carry on throughout the whole year, and you know that I have already picked a color palette which is going to be the palette for the year, so of course everything is going to look so super cohesive. It's going to be such vibes, and I am literally living for it. Next up, we have my author brain dump and project tracking spreads. This is literally my mental unloading zone. Like I've given myself so much space in these next few pages where I can just brain dump ideas. I can just like let everything out, stop that messiness in my head and get the messiness on the page. Literally, I live for these spreads. The brain dumps are so beyond helpful, especially as an author. Like these have been unparalleled this past year. So if you are feeling like your brain is so super full of ideas and you just don't quite know what to do with them and you have a bullet journal or you want to start a bullet journal, let me tell you, starting it with some brain dump pages is literally the best thing. You can thank me later, because getting your headspace sorted is the absolute perfect start to being able to sit down and write and get all of your author stuff out. So yes, these first few pages are a little bit empty. I've split this first one into 3 parts as like a little sort of quick pit stop as to what exactly is going on in the next few pages. But these pages are empty, but it is going to be very quickly filled with so many creative projects, goals, ideas, vibes, and you know all the stuff that goes into writing a book, like you just know. Okay, let's talk about year to view, because again, this is something that I regularly redo. Like every single year I have to have a year to view spread. Now, I put everything in here, like literally if I've got an appointment coming up, you know it's straight into here. But also in here I'm usually tracking all sorts of things like book releases, goals, when I want stuff completed by. You also know that as a recent F1 girly, you know I'm tracking all of the races in here. Like, you know I'm allocating that time. Like nothing else can be booked on a race day because I have things to watch, okay? You know that since I first started using this spread, this has been a total game changer for tracking all of my important dates. And with the goals that I have this year and all the big projects that I really want to be working on, being able to just see my year at a glance and kind of have that overview of everything that's going on is so helpful. But if you are going to do this, take a little tip from me, pop your weekends in a highlighted color, because otherwise when you're looking down at your list, honestly, all the numbers just become one. So do this, pop your weekends into a different color and thank me later. Now, this has got to be one of my most favorite spreads. So this is goals and favorite quotes. Again, these are 2 that are going to be filling up throughout the year. My goals, I usually tend to start out with not a lot in it at the beginning of the year, because I feel like being able to kind of look at your year as a whole and work out what you're doing on like day 1 of January is like nearly impossible. So I always leave myself a little bit of space so that as I'm going through the months and I start to figure out some things that I want that I reckon I can get done before the end of the year, you know they're going straight into this spread. So this is one that again doesn't really get filled until quite a bit later on. You know full well that even taking out all of my reading from this bullet journal, I was not going to be able to take it out completely. Even though my trackers and stuff are gone and they are in the reading journal, I could not completely remove reading from my life because it is such a big part of my life. So I had to put in a favorite quotes page. Now, again, this is something that is going to be filling up throughout the year, like as we start reading, and there's just like those perfect standout quotes that just like really make you feel something. They're going to be going straight into here. So of course I had to start it off with something. So I popped in my favorite quote from Daydream by Hannah Grace. This was the book that like recently got me out of a reading slump. If you haven't read it, I absolutely loved it. Like it was actual perfection. So do go read that. And even though this is a new spread for me and I haven't done this very often, I am really excited to watch this fill up throughout the year, like with all of these fun colors, with all of these quotes, and it's just going to be a really nice mashup of everything I loved. You know I had to put a mood board in here because I've been doing mood boards on Pinterest for a little while and I've just been saving them on there, but just like having it printed out, having it in my journal, I feel like I'm gonna look at it so much more. And you know that we are all about the visual reminder of what we're manifesting this year, which is good vibes, a positive energy, and all the creative sparks. Mine has got so many things on there. So I've got all sorts of like writing pictures, I've got content creation pictures, I've got painting ideas, like things that I want to be manifesting into this year. Like, you know that it is all on here. Now, I did kind of mess up a little bit. I totally thought that printing out all these pictures was going to take up the entire double spread. And by the time I'd already printed it and taken it back home from the library, because you know that we're at Library Girly, okay? But by the time I had it back home, I was like, oh, this is not going to go over the 2 pages. So I do have a blank page next to this that I don't quite know what to do with at this precise moment in time, but we've got space to figure it out. We've got time to figure it out. Not everything has to be perfect on day one. Okay, let's get started on the January spreads. So it's been a little while since I've actually done cover art for my monthly spreads, and I was really excited to do it again. So I just went with something super cute, super simple. I went with this time hourglass kind of vibe, and then this little potion bottle, and the tag on the potion bottle says resilience, because this is something that I really want to give myself this year, and just like give myself time to find this and really roll with this. I do need more resilience in my life, so I feel like this was the absolute perfect addition to the January spreads. Like, let's start the year as we mean to go on. And then on the other side of this spread, I have my January calendar and then a couple of little habit trackers down the bottom, so I know what I'm going to be tracking. I'm going to be tracking my steps every day, if I'm doing any writing, and then I have left myself one free because I'm not 100% sure what I want to be tracking right now, but I do know that sort of 2 to 3 trackers is the perfect number for me. I feel like if I track too many things, I get overwhelmed really quickly, so I feel like this number of trackers is absolutely perfect for what I'm able to handle. here we go with the gold outline on the pages. This is my brain dump page. So again, this is currently an empty spread, but let me tell you, I really do use these spreads, honestly, so much. There is so much stuff that gets put down in here. Like as soon as anyone tells me anything like, oh my God, you should watch this program or you should keep an eye out for this book, like this is where it's going. This is where it goes. Like if I lost these brain dump pages, my brain would just cease to function, truly. This is just where all of my thoughts go out, whether it's writing ideas, random inspirations, things I need to get done. This spread is such a lifesaver when you have so much going on. And honestly, even if you don't and you just forget things like me, get yourself a brain dump spread. And then last but certainly not least, we have my weekly spreads. So I like to set up my entire month in one go rather than go week by week. So I am going to be doing all of my weekly pages, and I've moved to have a double spread for my weeks. So I have a little gap for every single day where I can just write important events, and then I have a big space on the far side where I can write down all of my tasks for the weeks, make sure that I'm getting everything done, and that's where we go back to the key and make sure that no task gets left behind, because we are here for the productivity, because we need structure to make our dreams come true, and this is the only way that I can keep myself organized. There you have it. This is my 2025 author bullet journal set up, ready to go, bursting with all the good vibes, the creativity, the inspiration, the brain space. If you have a bullet journal, let me know in the comments down below what spreads are you most excited to try. And if you don't have a bullet journal, let me know if this convinced you to get one, because I cannot stop raving about bullet journals, honestly. Don't get into a conversation with me about bullet journals because I will not be stopping. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Whether you're an author, whether you're a reader, or whether you're just here for the cozy vibes, I really appreciate all of you guys. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more cozy content. And until next time, stay magical, stay productive, and always stay true to yourself. I'll see you guys later. Bye.